7 and 7 members present, so we have our quorum here. We will call this meeting to order. This is Monday, August the 13th, and it's a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Jasper ISD. Our first item will be pledge and prayer, and with that, before we get into that, I'd like to ask everyone to silence all their devices. So take a moment to do that, and with our pledge, I'm going to ask Mr. Conwell to lead us in the pledges, please.
All of us facing the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honorable
Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
If you will, join me in prayer real quick, please. Heavenly Father, thank you again for another day. Thank you for all the blessings you've given us. And Father, I thank you for all of the men and women that make up our Jasper ISD family. As we begin another school year, I pray for your strength, your protection, your wisdom, your knowledge as you guide each of our employees, as we guide our students. Father, use us in our strengths, strengthen us in our weaknesses, and forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Our next item is reserved for open forum, but we have no one signed up to speak, so we'll move right on into our agenda. And our first, next item will be our consent agenda. Does any member need any item removed for consideration? If not, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Kamak, a second by Stephen Martinez. Any question, comment? If none, all in favor, show of right hand. It's accepted 7-0. Thank you. In our business and action items, our first item will be to consider and, if appropriate, approve the 2018-2019 teacher appraisal calendar and appraisal list. Dr. Hudson.
Well, the district shall appraise teachers using the Texas Teachers Evaluation and Support System, better known as T-Test, in accordance with the law and administrative regulations. The frequency of appraisal addressed in local policy DNA. You have listed on the next page a list of appraisers and the appraisal calendar is attached. At this time, the administration recommends approval of the appraisers and the appraisal calendar as presented for 2018-2019 school year.
So moved.
Second.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve the appraisals and appraisal calendar as presented. We have a motion by Ms. Martindale and a second by Mr. Duran. Any questions, comments, discussion? If none, all in favor, show of right hand. And that is approved 7-0. Thank you very much. Next item will be to consider and, if appropriate, approve Jasper ISD salary schedules. Dr. Hudson.
Through the budget workshop process, you should be able to provide information regarding the proposed compensation plan for the 2018-19 school year. Based on the TASB salary study, the compensation plan includes a general pay increase of 3% off the midpoint for all employees who are currently paid under the maximum salary for their respective pay grades. Employees earning greater than the maximum salary allowed for this respective pay grade will receive approximately 1.2 to 1.5 of the midpoint. Teacher pay scales reflect the $1,300 increase with the beginning salary of $38,000. As part of the salary study, TASB provided recommended salary computations. The computations make allowance for additional adjustment for those paid under the recommended minimum rate, along with salary computations for those changes, pay grades or pay plans, classifications such as counselors, diagnosticians, nurses, etc., and a recommendation for those paid above the maximum pay range. At this time, recommended the Board of Trustees approve the 2018-19 compensation plan as presented.
We have a recommendation to approve the proposed plan for 2018-2019.
I'd like to make a motion to vote on each one of these individually, like take the administrative professional, and then take the auxiliary and the clerical, each one individually. Make a motion.
Well, we have a recommendation to vote on the items as presented.
I'd like to amend that recommendation to vote on each one of them individually.
Can't amend the recommendation.
Okay, we ready to vote on it?
And if it doesn't pass, we can come back to it in a different format. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Dr. K-Mac, a second by Mr. Stephen Martinez. Any questions, comments?
Yes, sir. I have on the, go by on the administrative professional pay plan, on the information that we provided, the TASB reflected that our central admin, our campus admin, were all at 103 and 107% of the midpoint. And in our budget workshop, we discussed and requested that admin be frozen, and we have not seen it at that time from finance, from administration. So that's when I'm suggesting that the administrative do not receive that. That's why I wanted to vote separately. And then secondly, when you're looking at the other positions, they were underneath the TASB plan. So I would recommend those to be 3%. But the one on the teachers, looking at where we are at financially at this point, and looking at the budget recommendation from Ms. Horton that we've received, shows that we are going to put approximately $900,000 in fund balance for next year. Looking at where we're at, we're looking at an increase of revenue for next year of about $400,000. Looking at our expected expenses for this year, will come in about 2.5, 2.6 based on that, plus we're increasing. So our expenditures are not going to increase $2 million. So my recommendation for teachers is to increase the salary schedule from $38,000 to $40,000. We have the funding. They did not receive a pay increase last year. And then lastly, is my understanding is that we did not give a step increase to the teachers last year. So if that's the case, if you are on the step increase, you're going to receive 2 step increases this year. Is that correct?
No. No.
Okay, so if we have someone, so did they receive step increase last year?
No. That was adjusted in the compensation plan because there was no separation between 0 year and first year last year. But with the TASB, we went through, there was an increase. They did get some additional, so there is a separation between, I guess you say, first year and second year. So there is been input in there.
What about 9th year and 10th year? So if you were a 9th
It was
year
the
teacher,
biggest complaint was going to be the 0 in first year from last year because technically they made the same amount because the salaries were close.
so if I was last year and I was a 9-year teacher and I completed my 9th year and we approved that steps increase for last year, that teacher and librarian did not get that increase from 9 to 10, right? Okay, so that means if I finished my 10th now, why would I not go to the 11th?
The way the scales are adjusted is you roll the step down and then you add the increase to it.
So what does years of experience mean? I mean, why do we even have that on the thing if we did that?
The reason why they were doing that is so that everyone got the same.
Not
amount,
why
because
they're
there's a
doing that, why are y'all doing
Because
that?
there's a difference between the steps. It's not uniform between the steps.
So basically, years of experience doesn't mean anything.
Well, I want to disagree with you on that, Mr. Duran, because one of the things that I sent you that in the email. One of the things that we're forgetting is that last year when we did our budget, we based it upon the historical data of Jasper's that we've constantly lost 50 to 75 kids a year. And so, ended up happening with Harvey, we based our budget upon the information. We were not able to give a raise because we wanted to have a balanced budget. Now, with Harvey coming in, we had a lot of displaced families. We ended up increasing and roughly 111 kids, which that's where the additional revenue came from. Now, again, one of the things that we got to be careful of, we don't know pre-K numbers, and of course, besides registration, we have to wait until school starts to find out how many no-shows, because this has happened to several districts in other areas when some of the other natural disasters, they move in, as soon as their houses are back up, they move out. And if you don't know about these things, then of course, we actually kept our numbers the same this year. The worst thing,
increased. We went to 2450. What our budget numbers show. So
yes,
we're showing an increase in students.
we are, but the worst case scenario is that's not there, because it is a guesstimation, and unfortunately with a natural disaster like Harvey, you can't predict what kind of impact that's going to have. We were hopeful that the kids are staying. We hope that they'll be here, but we won't have those numbers identified until later on.
Well, in that case, I mean, I'm looking at the instructional for at the end of July, we're averaging 900 a month, say 900, 1,000. And so we're going to be at 1.6 below budget and just the instruction. Okay? At the end of our year, August 31st, 1.6. That's where our teachers' salaries come from. So in that case, we can afford, because you're showing an increase in the budget numbers for 2018-19.
But you can't give a raise based on the previous year budget.
Okay? We
You
have
can't.
for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, I've
Well,
been
I'm
on
saying
this
that-
board. Well, this is where we have made the money at.
Well, I'm
On
just
the
saying,
instruction
we can only look at what we have forward. That's why we went through the process of doing the salary study. That's why we went through the process of making fair recommendations, because at the end of the day, we also have to make sure that it's sustainable. In addition, we did provide a report last board workshop that showed the breakdown of how much, the 3% of how much to raise for each one of the different areas you asked about administration, which came out to 49.
So what you're saying is we cannot base it on this. Then if we have anybody on our payroll that is above the mid-range, such as our campus administration and our professional, where we're at 107% of the midpoint based on the tasking, then we need to freeze that.
No.
I mean, we're saying two different things here, then.
No,
Are we not?
you also, that is looking at the average, because there are some people that we should
You're wanting me to budget on the numbers that she gave us and on the actual budget numbers, which we have done for the last 2 years, and we have put almost $2 million in fund balance. So your budgeting don't need a thing. We just need to say, okay, this is the money we're gonna have, and don't put expenses to it. Just say, okay, we're projecting this amount of money, don't break it out by line item when we approve the budget, until we know exactly
What
how
if we
many
do,
kids we have.
what if we do this? What if we vote on this tonight, and at the same time, then subsequent to tonight, we have Ms. Horton run numbers projecting out based on your recommend, or your thought of the 40,000, and then in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we see what that looks like, and we can make an adjustment then, if we feel like we can do it. And I do want to make a comment about
Okay.
the administrative salaries. This board never requested a freeze.
I did. I asked
I
for
know
it.
you
I asked
did,
it.
but I said
Right.
this board
We didn't
never
vote.
requested. Huh?
We didn't vote on it.
The word was we requested a freeze.
There was a couple more, right? I asked for that.
But the board did not request a freeze for anybody.
I said, let's get the information that if we froze the administration salary, what percentage would that save us? Which I did not get that information from this board, and I said, okay, this is what it's
We
gonna
did-
be.
we
It's gonna
got
be
the
about
information at the last meeting.
$66,000, right? Is what I told you at the last workshop?
Yeah.
And then you said, that the numbers that you gave us did not
Mark,
include.
we did have those numbers at the
No, we
last
didn't.
workshop.
No, I told her what they were because I made the comment that she still had the athletic trainer, health services coordinator position in here. It still had the director of advanced academics in here.
It was-
still had the director of communications in here. It still had the
Mark, if you
executive
don't
director
get-
of
you
administration,
remember-
which was still in here.
We gave
So
you
we
the list.
approved this.
We gave you the
This
list.
gives the, what we tabled, the opportunity to hire those positions. True?
It was, we can go back to, it was the sheet that had on there, because you asked how many administrators, and we had to tell you it was 23.
Right.
So that had how much the impact it would have, and it was broken out, how many counselors, how many diagnosticians, all these different pieces. So you actually did receive that information.
I had to ask her in this meeting, how many administrators do we have? You had to count them up like that.
But-
And then I said, so if we take those out, what's gonna be our savings? $66,000. There's people in the audience, is that not true?
That is correct.
That is
It's
correct.
on our, matter of fact, I wrote it, I had to write it, it was the only.
It was the only thing that didn't have,
That did not have a number
Here's the
beside
sheet
it.
right
And I ran
We've got the same number, LaQuinn, as what we've been given from the last time with those new positions in there.
the new position's not in there. And that's not in there.
I
But
don't know what to
again,
believe, honestly. That's the honest truth.
Well, but we can address the adjustment for teachers, subsequent to tonight, if that's acceptable.
Leaving the administrators.
No, we're gonna approve we're gonna vote on the recommendation as presented.
Why can't you amend this?
You can't amend the recommendation. A motion, once it's made, can be
I thought
amended.
there was a motion. There was a
There was a
motion,
motion.
and he was asking.
Dr. Kamek, but he made his point prior to the motion.
No, I did. You told me first that I couldn't. Then they made the motion in the second. You asked a question, and that's when I have there. So
I didn't hear that motion, I'm sorry. That was that call for amendment. So did you make an amendment?
So I would like to make the amendment that we vote on each one of these individually.
Okay, we have an amendment to the motion. All in favor of the amendment, show of right hand.
but it has to be,
Do we have a question?
No, not on amendment. You want, it's not necessary. We can take it right to vote.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
So, Paul, so basically what you're saying, so when it comes to this type of stuff here, I know last year you had talked about, having a balanced budget. And it has a lot to do, your job has a lot to do with forecasting, providing that stability, something that's sustainable as far as the budget. Is that correct? What it boils down to, right? And so our trend that says that, I don't think it's a secret that we were losing students at the time. And then we had a natural disaster with Hurricane Harvey that, just like with Rita and all that, those people that were displaced came to this area and this area, surrounding areas, right? So we had a little bit more students. So we had to make we got a little bit more money, but so to speak, but we still, that kind of, I guess, skews the numbers in a way, because in reality, those kids will go back to where they're from, so to speak. I mean, I know, possibly, right?
we hope that they're
We're
staying.
welcome to say.
Yeah.
So that is what we go off of, really, that we can't really say that these kids, these families that are here right now are going to stay forever. So we have to stay realistically on the budget, saying, hey, we're probably still going to be on a downward trend with kids leaving our district. Is that correct? I mean, is that what we forecast? That's what we
No, the
forecast,
budget
right?
wasn't forecasted on a downward trend.
Downward.
It was forecasted on an increase in enrollment.
What was
It was
the
forecasted
name
based
of
on
it?
what
ASPE
we had
report
this
that we
year.
got.
It was forecasted based on what we had this year, minus about 35, 40 minutes.
Okay.
So Dr. Hudson, in the comparison that you did for the other districts and their pay for beginning teacher salaries, the list you gave us was 25. Have you got any more? since then?
No, of course, like I said, I had to reach out to my surrounding areas, superintendents, and have them respond back to me. So those are the ones I have.
So there's 25 reported, 5 of them are over 40,000.
Yeah. Well, also, and that's why I also put the size. You also have to look at the area that you're located in. Because, you know, for instance, we have Hudson in there because comparatively the size and also the district, we compete with each other, but they also are competing against Lufkin ISD. And we're the largest one in this area that people are competing with us, but we want to stay competitive without meeting teacher salaries.
I have another question on this. The executive director of administration is still on here now. Paula told us last Monday that this was because it was a draft originally, but when it came back, it's still there.
Yes, it's still on there. It's one of those things, that information was actually tabled, so it's still, so it was one of the things, and I explained to the board previously, that was on there because we wanted to make sure we had at the right appropriate pay grades if that was something that was brought forward. So it wouldn't be a question about where it be located.
So why wouldn't the board approve that at that time?
The board tabled the discussion, so that would probably.
Understand it, so it should be included here.
Table doesn't mean, it means it's tabled.
It's tabled, so therefore what are we budgeting it for?
It was just on there. It's on there
It needs
as
to
a
be
possibility.
removed.
I disagree because, I mean, it's not a position in there.
Well, and I question it because I was also, this employee compensation plan, I'm assuming, because on our agenda, that's what this is called. It says in here, procedures for job reclassification. Review of job reclassification must be initiated by the supervisor or by human resources. Jobs previously submitted for review within the last 18 months, newly created jobs are not eligible for review. Reviews will be conducted as follows. And it goes on, and in the end, human resources will evaluate the job classification and prepare a recommendation for review by the superintendent or designee. And I just made notes there that, you know, if there is a change in pay grade resulting in the change of a salary, then that should be submitted to the board as it always has for approval.
That's not necessarily the case. One of the things that, those are regulations, and regulations are the functionality of below the board. Policy belongs to the board, the regulations and those things are what we receive as we move forward, because one of the things on there is how we compensate people who are coming in at you know, from different jobs, how we calculate where they're supposed to go. So that's part of, for administration, how we handle those situations, because we haven't had anything like that previous to
When you
this.
say regulations.
Regulation.
Regulations.
For administration.
That's when we approve this professional pay plan, those new positions are on here, so that gives you the opportunity to add those positions with that pay range and that increase in pay salary.
Mr. President, I
Can't
move to
change
the,
anybody's job title that we table now, once we pass this, being based on that.
I move to the previous question.
Okay. We have an amendment to the motion, to the recommendation. All in favor of the amendment, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. The amendment fails, so we retract to the original recommendation. We have a motion by Dr. Quinn K-Max, second by Mr. Stephen Martinez. All in favor, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. And it passes 4-3.
We don't need to do any more studies, because they don't do nothing.
Our next item will be to consider and if appropriate, approve increase in district health insurance contributions. Dr. Sullivan, is that yours?
Yes. The district employees enrolled in TRS Active Care Health Insurance Plan increased, currently receive $225 a month towards the premium cost. The recommendation is to increase the district portion by additional $75. The increase is expected to cost the district $250,000 annually based on current employee participation. Only employees who are participating in the group health plan will receive the benefit. All TRS eligible employees are provided an opportunity to enroll for health insurance coverage annually during the July-August open enrollment period. At this time, administration recommends to approve the increase in total monthly health insurance contribution from $225 to $300 for district employees.
We have a recommendation from administration to increase the district's contribution for employees' health insurance from $225 to $300. Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Tom Webb, second by Ms. Martindale. Any questions, comments, discussions?
Yes, I do. I would like to make a comment that if, in fact, well, this is going to cost us, the district, right at just shy of $1 million. The estimated increase is going to be about $250,000 based on our current enrollment.
Yes.
If those that do not carry this insurance now choose to carry it, then it's going to cost the district $1.5 million basically.
That's if everyone.
That's if everyone was to come back and decide, yes. Okay.
And they still have the opportunity to.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, discussions?
I do know that the state is increasing the amount of it, so this should help offset that as well.
You talking about the cost of
Right.
the insurance?
Yeah,
Yes.
premiums are going
The
up.
premiums
Premiums are going up.
we can, one thing we can always probably guarantee that the state won't give you the money, but they will increase those fees. And so,
Right.
and the main thing is, even though 225 is really the norm, we do want to try to be comfortable, and we feel like this is a good, because right now, I do believe that the current monthly is $361, is that correct? Is that correct, $361 for an employee only? I think it went up $10, $361. 367, so monthly for an employee is $67, and of course, we'll hope that eventually the state will do more on their end.
And that does put us in the top 1/3 in the,
Yeah,
our top 1/4 basically in those 25 districts.
yes.
Any other questions, comments? If none, all in favor of the recommendation, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. The motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Our next action item will be to consider and if appropriate, approve a nomination to the TASB Board of Directors. Dr. Hudson?
As you know, we elect on the task board of directors, there's Region 5 representative. Well, the nominee is actually seeking our endorsement from Jasper ISD. Nicholas Phillips is running unopposed and seeking re-election for TASB Board of Directors, Region 5, and will represent the 33 school district as well as the service center in our region at the state level. Mr. Phillips is a ninth year school board member from Nederland ISD. In addition to his role as school board member, Mr. Phillips serves as associate principal at Westbrook High School in Beaumont. So at this time, administration is submitting Mr. Phillips' request for the Jasper ISD Board of Trustees to endorse his nomination for TASB Board of Directors Region 5 representative.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve Mr. Phillips to endorse his nomination for TASB Board of Directors. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Duran, a second by Ms. Martindale. Any questions, comments, discussion? My only comment comes in the form of a question. How does an associate principal hold a position as a school board member?
That's a different school district.
He lives, you have to be a board member, you have to live within that.
So he
lives in Needle,
yeah, that's
but
right.
then he has
Okay.
the ability to,
Makes sense. Any other questions, comments, discussion? If none, all in favor of the recommendation, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign, and that passes 7-0. Thank you much. Our next item will be to consider and if appropriate, approve memorandum of understanding with Lamar University. Mr. Sabo?
Under board policy GNC legal for any educational partnership between a district and a community college district, an agreement must be approved by the board or designee of both the district and the college district. JETCO, along with Lamar Port Arthur, plans to bring a CDL truck driving school to Jasper ISD. This will help both Jasper ISD and our local economy. Jasper ISD will receive more qualified applicants for our bus driving jobs, and our current employees, JISD employees, will receive 2 spots free per year as long as the class makes, and the rest of our employees will get a reduction from $4,000 to $1,800 for the tuition. Beginning in 2020, CDL drivers will no longer be able to self-educate and must attend schools like this one. And we're bringing the CDL school in partnership with JETCO is also meant to entice at least one trucking company to locate within Jasper. District Council has reviewed and revised the MOU. The school will be located at our DAB building and road parking lot and take place after school hours. They will use one bus after its route and replenish the cost of fuel and pay any Jasper employee used for the transport of the bus. Administration recommends adoption of the MOU with Lamar Port Arthur for the CDL trucking.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve the MOU with Lamar University regarding the trucking school. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Webb, and we have a tie for second. I heard Mr. Martinez, so I will grant it to him. Any questions, comments, discussion? If none, all in favor, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.
So are we going on Facebook here, back there by Mr. Hadnot, or what are we, you want me to do that on Facebook or what?
No, sir, it is on live stream.
Okay, just making sure.
Our next action item will be to consider and if appropriate, approve adoption of the 2018-2019 Jasper ISD facility rental rates. Mr. Sabo?
Under board policy GKD legal, the Board of Trustees may set rental rates for non-school use of facilities. This adoption would be for the 2018-2019 facility rental prices. To stay competitive, we have lowered the price of our athletic facilities, basically the softball, baseball, and football, due to the larger number of area teams who have upgraded to turf fields. Administration recommends the adoption of the listed 2018-2019 facility rental prices.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve the adoption of the 2018-2019 Jasper ISD facility rental rates as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Van Kamack, a second.
Second.
A second by Ms. Martindale. Any questions, comments, discussions?
Were these ran by Coach Barbeck when we discussed with him?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. This is an increase?
No.
Decrease
Decrease.
on 2 of the athletics, because so many other teams have gotten the turf.
Which decreases?
Was that?
Baseball and softball.
The baseball and softball were the 2 that were decreased, because that's the ones that get the most use, and we've seen some competition. We still have people that come use our facilities.
And we're at a competitive rate with the other, so that was one of the things we built that complex for, to bring people.
Yeah. So that this puts us more competitive.
And we got the prices of the other people, what they're doing, so we didn't want to outprice ourselves, being people would not utilize us.
Any other questions, comments? If none, all in favor of the recommendation, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. It carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Our next action item will be to consider and, if appropriate, approve adjustment of Jasper ISD lunch prices. Ms. Dean?
The Texas Department of Agriculture requires districts to review annually the prices charged for student and adult meals. The district will be operating under the community eligibility provision, which allows all students to receive breakfast and lunch at no charge. For all non-pricing nutrition programs, the adult meal price must be equal to or greater than the free reimbursement rate and commodity assistance rate for student meals. The recommended 18-19 adult meal prices would be $2.25 for breakfast and $3.75 for lunch, which reflects a 15-cent increase. Administration recommends approval of the adult meal prices as presented.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve the adult meal prices for the 2018-2019 school year as presented. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Martindale, a second by Mr. Wells. Any questions, comments?
Staff get discounts?
This is staff, this is everybody.
So the students count all staff and everybody?
This is
Well,
staff.
it's
Am I
just
reading
staff.
correctly that the students, no students will be required to pay for lunch this year?
Right.
Right.
Or breakfast.
Or breakfast,
Pretty
yeah.
much us.
But we
Staff
still,
do get discounts? or
no,
not?
this is their price. They have
I was thinking at the hospital, we only give 30% to the staff. Try to encourage them
This
to
is
get there.
equal to.
I mean, this is cheap, but
This
still.
is equal to.
what do you mean?
Well, it says.
We did an increase, it was 15-cent increase. Well, you wanted to explain?
Yes, ma'am. For next year, with the free reimbursement is $3.31. We get a performance-based reimbursement for the 6 cents. Severe need is 2. Our commodity assistance is 34.3450, which totals $3.74. Let's look at later. For the lunch. For breakfast, the free reimbursement rate is $1.79. The severe need breakfast is 35 cents. There's no commodity assistance at breakfast, which totals $2.14 would be our minimum charge. So we were just recommending 15, instead of charging just 15 cents for breakfast and 15 cents for lunch, hoping that we won't have to raise it next year. But we may, since we're only at 1,000 for lunch.
And that's to stay in compliance with what regulation on the pricing?
Sir,
In compliance with what regulation do that?
it's
On the-
federal guidelines.
On the price setting?
We have to look at them every year.
Well, I asked because it said equal or greater than the free reimbursement. I was
Gotcha.
curious if it was equal to or greater, what would we do about it?
It all totals, we have to get at least $3.74 for lunch. So I was recommending something.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? If none, all in favor of the recommendation, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. That recommendation passes 7-0. Thank you very much. And our last action item will be to consider and, if appropriate, approve the 2018-2019 property, vehicle, and liability insurance renewal premiums. Ms. Horton?
This is the final year of our 3-year rate guarantee with PCAT, which is Property Casualty Alliance of Texas. A copy of the contribution and summary page was attached for your review. The premiums for 18-19 has decreased by $3,534 over last year's premium. There's a comparison in the board packet of the coverage. And I put a note on there that the commercial auto is based on the currently owned vehicles, and any additional costs may be incurred for vehicles added after the renewal, because it doesn't account for the fleet management program in that premium yet. And then also that new bus that we got, we did not get that, but this is a revised amount from what was in the board packet, because we did find one vehicle that was left off the list, so it actually increased by $473 from what was in the board packet.
And what did we approve on the fleet for the first year? It was 4 people?
No, we haven't actually. The only thing we approved was that to not to exceed 90,000. So we're actually still in negotiation as far as the contract between our attorneys and Enterprise. We're hopeful that we'll have something pretty similar.
But that commercial auto should significantly be
Yeah.
increased from this number. Because
Well, if the cars that we're replacing, so there won't be any additional, so for instance, I do believe we have about 17 cars in our fleet, is that correct? So we removed 11, we're bringing in 11, so.
But your commercial insurance is based on the value
Yes, the
of that
value,
vehicle.
so yes, it would,
So
it
it
would
would be
increase some.
significant.
Yeah,
So that number is definitely wrong.
so yes, because we haven't
We
put that
won't
part,
budget
we
it.
haven't,
It's just
Yeah,
not.
we tried for the moment, but.
we haven't put that part in yet, because right now, we are still, like I said, waiting for our attorneys to finish the negotiation process and get all that squared away.
Any other questions, comments?
Let me ask you, when you say attorney negotiation for what? For enterprise?
Yes,
Well, in the approval we had said the attorney had approved that and reviewed and approved that contract.
oh, yes, he did,
Yeah.
but then he made some changes and wanted to send it to Enterprise, and so that's where it's at this particular moment. So it's not an issue of that he didn't approve, he has a,
Okay.
it's not on our end, it's, you know, of course, now Enterprise saying it's a standard contract, and Tanner saying it's not, and so but we're gonna pretty much say we got to move forward, so we need to figure out what's going on.
We have a recommendation from administration to approve the 2018-2019 property, vehicle, and liability insurance renewal premiums. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Webb, a second by Dr. Van Kamak. Any additional questions or comments? If none, all in favor of the recommendation, show of right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. And that concludes our business and our action items. We will now move into board announcements. First report is reserved for the board president, and I'm reserving my comments until convocation. So with that, trustees report.
Are you singing again?
I can tell you what I'm not doing.
Know what you're saying?
Oh, Lord. I had to sleep outside for a week after that day. Any trustee, anything to add to that?
I would like to remind everybody that Thursday, show up, show out. It's Meet the Bulldogs, 7:30 at the athletic stadium. Let's get out there and give us some support to start the year.
Very
Dogs.
That's right.
I saw a social media post, I thought was very good, was that our band supports the football team. And when the band goes on a marching contest or something, that our athletic teams should be bused to support the band. And I thought that was a great idea. You know, it's on there
When they go
to do
contest, that
that.
would be awesome.
I thought that was a good point.
It's a very good point.
And whoever put that on, I'm sure he posted that. And then, Dr. Hudson, you may want to, the grant that we had for the CTE, Mike.
No, go ahead.
And one of the things that Ms. Jocelyn and Mr. Strickland, I know the CTE teachers, and Dr. Hudson, we had, I work for Workforce Solutions, and we got some unspent funds. And working with the Jasper Economic Development, is Eddie Hopkins said, hey, you know, this fund is a match, it's $1 per dollar. If you have an economic development or a chamber that's willing to donate up to $100,000, then Workforce Solutions will take the Workforce Commissions, will do a match. And Eddie Hopkins just jumped on it and said, we'll donate $50,000. We only had about a week turnaround. So between Dr. Hudson and Ms. Jocelyn, is they submitted a grant. We got a little extension, go to Wednesday. And I submitted that to me today, and if that passes, school will get $100,000 of equipment, and Ms. Jocelyn will automotive equipment, welding, graphic design. You remember what else? There's about 4 or 5.
All criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Yeah.
Criminal justice.
And you probably know, I mean, you wrote it, you probably know more than all of us.
$82,000
Yeah.
right off the top.
So hopefully we'll get that submitted on Wednesday, or we will get that submitted on Wednesday.
Yes, sir, it will
and
be
get that
done.
approved. So thank y'all for the
Thank you.
turnaround.
Thank you very much.
That's great. Any future agenda items anybody would like to request?
I would like, I was gonna look at the, on the, kind of seeing how we were gonna vote on the salary scale, but once you put money into fund balance, then it's there, you can't use it for salaries or anything. And, looking at the reports that we got and then presenting like the TASB reporting thing, and seeing where our teachers are at 0 to 3, and we're very small in between the 3 to 15. And I look out here and I see the longevity and the people that have come back. It has, I'd like for us to think about maybe an incentive. I know Quinn and I talked about that. Is maybe a scale where we say, if you, well, we know who's coming back now. So we set a 0 to 4, maybe we give them $100. So that 5 to 9, you know, a little bit. And look at if that's something that we could do before we put that money into fund balance on that. And that's for everyone. I mean, every staff that comes back and signs that contract, they can send and say thank you, you know, for the appreciation for the hard work you did. I wouldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So.
Okay.
I do have one, by the way. I would like, as a future agenda item, that we take a look and do a little bit of investigation with some of the other districts and discuss the opportunity maybe now, it's been a year, for a district renovation. And I think it would allow us to make, the district to make some moves that would benefit the teachers tremendously.
And I would like to look at what Mark suggested, the administrative rates. Because we do have some very, some salaries that are really capped, that for, especially for our geographical area, as the TASB, what they gave us, reflected that. So I would like to say that as future
Okay.
agenda.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? If not,